Now I'd like to talk to you about ourselves, our bodies, as it is. And from the cellular level, from the cell. And after this I'll talk to you about some of the neurology, from the neurological level. And I urge you to listen carefully, because if you understand what I'm going to tell you now, after much research, it will save you a lot of grief, and you will understand much of what's going on the outside. Now, the works I'm going to give you here is based upon Bechamp. And then later on, another man came in named Tissot. And this is what we must recognize. And then later on, I will bring in something that I got in order for this thing to function as it functions, whether it be pathological or biological. Inside of our cells, this is typical, there is a nucleus, and inside of the cytoplasm, this is the nucleoplasm, cytoplasm, the whole thing is called the protoplasm. And inside of here we have little dots. I'm going to eliminate all the organelles because it's not germane to our talk here tonight. All these little dots here are called granules. And this comes from the word Latin, and this is what they taught me. Look at the word. The word will lead you to the avenues of the truth. And the word granule comes from granum, which means little seed, a seed, or grain. Now we know what happens with a grain. If I take a grain of wheat and put it into the earth, and if the earth is completely nourished, if it gets enough water, what will happen? We'll have wheat coming up. If it be corn, then corn comes up. If it be barley, then barley or rye. And each grain has its own particular blueprint in order to be what it has to be. Now, when a person has a particular infectious disease, we notice some particular groupings of certain pestilence, or if you like, bacteria, or viruses, or retroviruses, or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to call them just a big pestilence, okay? Because that's all they are. They're pestilence. Now these little seeds here are waiting to germinate. Right? They cannot germinate, as I said before, that wheat won't come up unless the soil is just right. So this soil in here has to change. And later on I'll tell you how the change comes about. And when it does, these are the seeds of perdition that the good book speaks about. That's what they become, a pestilence, such as the viruses, the retroviruses, the fungi, the bacteria, the protozoa, like the spirochete, and so forth and so on. Yeah. That's where it starts internally. Do you ever ask yourself, has an epidemic of a cold? Oh, I caught it from him. And she caught it from her. And so forth and so on. Where in heaven did the first one catch it from? Let's ask ourselves that question. We need answers. Now you can see why I was going buggy, huh? I needed answers. I just can't say, well, it's stuck. You got it from this one and then we let it go. That's not enough for me. I got to get answers. We all should be that inquisitive. Somebody starts it in there. Right in there. So remember, on a cellular level, infectious diseases can start inside of us or endogenously. Inside of us, endogenously. And it's important to understand this. Now, it doesn't happen with everybody that way, but it does. But now the thing is, what activated these seeds into living little organisms? Now we know we have a seed, an egg, an ovum, from the ovaries. It has to be activated or vegetated or animated in order to become what the blueprint is inside of that egg. Now, of course, with humans, we have half and half. And that egg is just a sluggish thing that when the sperm hits it, it activates the whole thing. It activates it so much, he just says, okay, come on in. Huh? Not only does he go in, he leaves his coat outside. Just look at it. Look at it this way. See? Here she is, with half the complement of the genes. And then this guy comes around. He's got the other half. And so when he hits this here, breaks the door down, or there's an enzyme that dissolves the wall, and he enters in here, but he leaves his skin out here, and he's in here naked. And then he gets into this nucleus. And after that, the lights go out for about 36 hours. What the hell they're doing in there, guess. I don't know. What do you think? And all of a sudden, the climax comes. About 36 hours later, and it just breaks up into all kinds of lights. If you think the 4th of July is something with all those fireworks, you ought to see what the hell goes on inside of that female. Just, and then the two become one. And then this, of course, you know how it multiplies and so forth and so on, until it formed a little babe that came from heaven. Give it time, they'll give you plenty of hell. You're laughing, huh? So if you remember this on a cellular level, I'm just giving you enough to whet your appetites. That's all I'm here for. I want each one of you to be yourself. But each one has got to have an appetite for this, an appetite for knowing. Or isn't there a saying, man, which means male or female, know thyself? Isn't it? So, now remember, now if this cell here is in a quasi-state of just about and just about not, yes, no, for those granules that become activated, just live on a brim. Huh? And if some sort of a bug hits it, then it's enough to set it off. So you see, it can come from the bug itself. So just remember that now. And that's all I'm going to give you on a cellular level. Just think of that one cell, and that's it. And think of this. This is a wonderful little story, the very beginning of it. That's my next quest and to find out what in heavens these two are doing within the 36 hours. I would like to duplicate it. Now I'm going to give you something on the neurological end.